And talk to me specifically about the case of Jamal Khashoggi.
So in the case of Jamal Khashoggi, this is a Washington Post reporter and a primary critic of the Saudi regime. He was lured into the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul in Turkey. And while his fiancée waited outside for him to get the paperwork he needed in order to marry her, he was murdered by the Saudi government, allegedly on the orders of the Crown Prince. Now, we have to ask ourselves, how did the Saudi government decide that he was worth killing? How did they decide when and how they would kill him? How did they know this opportunity was going to arise? How do they know what his plans and intentions were that they needed to stop from their perspective? We don't have evidence that his phone personally was hacked, unfortunately, because we do not have his phone. But we do have the phones of his friends who were living in exile in Canada. And we do know, thanks to the research of a group called the Citizen Lab, affiliated with a university in Canada, that their phones were hacked, which means their conversations with Jamal Khashoggi were intercepted, and this allowed the Saudi regime to know that he was intending to create an electronic protest movement. They didn't need to know from his friend's phone or even from his phone that he was traveling to the consulate because he had to make an appointment. But it did tell them his private intentions, his hopes and dreams for a different government for their country. And perhaps, although we do not know for sure, on that basis, they decided to murder him. Once your phone is hacked, what is in their hands is not simply your device, it is your future. It's important also to remember, how did the government of Saudi Arabia manage to hack these people's phones, which are modern phones? Well, they didn't have this capability in their government. They didn't have this level of intelligence capability available to them directly. So they purchased it from a digital arms broker, a company called the NSO Group, an Israeli company. And this company, so they purchased it from a digital arms broker, a company called the NSO Group, an Israeli company. In this company, the only thing they do is manufacture digital weapons, kind of hacking tools that can be used against the critical infrastructure that all of us rely on, the phones in our pockets. They primarily target devices such as the Apple iPhone. And they sell this capability to break into phones of people around the world for millions and millions of dollars to some of the worst governments on earth. And the only meaningful oversight that they have, unfortunately, because the export control laws for these kind of digital weapons are extremely weak in Israel, is their own internal ethics board that says, oh, it was fine. We didn't break any rules.